Excellent.
One.
One! Holy gajoli! Success! But we got bad news. What's the goal of the company? Adam, what's the goal of our company?
Goal of the company is to provide quality white beads for all.
White beads. What happened? What was your observation of this? What did you observe when you started counting and you saw the numbers go down?
They were also getting fewer white beads.
Could you be louder so you can?
They were also getting fewer white beads.
Oh, what was the goal? Adam just told you.
Just yeah, white beads.
Quality white beads. And what happened when they started focusing on reducing the defects? Kara, what happened? When they started reducing the deficits. Look at the progress we made. We went from 201 to 7.
Production got better? Production got better? Started talking about.
Did production get better?
No.
The error rate went down. How did you feel?
I felt pretty good.
You felt pretty good when you reduced it?
Yeah,
Yeah. What did you think when you were going over, and what were you thinking when you went over?
there's a lot less beads in general.
Okay.
We were making
But what was I measuring?
the quality of the white beads.
No, what was I measuring?
Oh, the red beads.
The red beads. So you were focusing on making sure you had
No red beads.
no red beads. How did you feel when I recognized you?
I liked it a lot.
You liked it a lot. Did it improve your performance?
Yes. I would say so.
How come your performance didn't improve?
Because you didn't count the white beads.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
What? Well, how did you feel through this?
question.
I threatened you.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't focused on white beads anymore. We were focused on the littlest amount of red beads. So.
Right. Missing the goal. How did you feel when you got fired?
Poor.
Good word.
Did you feel like you did something wrong?
Plus,
Did you add value as the bookkeeper? Accountant? What value did you add?
None. Well, I guess I kept track of the red beads.
What value did the three of you guys add? We had 4 workers and 3 inspectors. What can we learn from that?
We gave you guys a pretty good, accurate reading of these red beads.
Absolute, excellent job. Excellent job. Did you, what you did it result in an increase in white bead production?
Not really though.
No. Did you add any value to the process?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Do you think they added any value to the process?
No.
No, we could have done that.
Okay. So you didn't help achieve the goal. So we got inspectors who were supposed to make sure everything worked, but they did. Maybe they were inspecting the wrong thing. What could have we done? Everybody come on over now and let's examine this. What could have we done? What are all the things we could have? Did this work? Did this help when I did this? Was I right as a manager?
Well, it helped in terms of least amount of red beads, but not.
Okay.
But the other way, no.
No, it didn't. So does management always know the answer?
No.
No, not at all. What could have we done?
The best thing to do would be measure the ratio of what you're picking out, white beads to red beads.
Okay, what else, Steve? How could have we done this better?
So our goal is just to get the most white beads, right?
Right.
Just to go big chunk and we did the first time.
Okay. Sure. What else can we do? Think of process. What could we do? Don't overthink it.
I guess like each time we went, we could just like, when we counted the red beads, we could just took them out.
Oh, you could have taken them out. Okay, keep going with that thought. So you could have eliminated, you could have picked out the red beads. What else could have we done? Keep going.
Instead of throwing them back in, we could have just got rid of them.
Got rid of them. Excellent. Yeah.
I think we could have just taken out the red beads before you scooped them.
Oh, so before. How could have we done it before?
Just pick them out.
Yes, what else?
Not produced red beads?
Hmm?
Not produced red beads.
Okay, keep going, but if they were to pick them out, what else could we do? You're close.
Like if we could, I mean, it's not here, but like if we had a machine that could like kind of like.
Oh, we could
sort
get a
them.
machine, could sort them. Where do the red beads come from?
The
In the
white bead
beads?
company.
I bought them. Couldn't I just buy white beads?
Yeah.
And go back to the supplier and
I guess.
say, I don't want red beads, I only want white?
That could work.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Did my haranguing of anybody help? Did the slogan work? Do your best. Did this impact your production?
No.
What did you think about it? Do your best. How did you feel, Terry? Were you doing your best?
I felt like I was.
Were you doing your best?
Yeah.
And when you got to round 4, did you really care?
No, like it really was just like, okay, no red beads.
Okay.
So, I guess not.
What we've just done, this is called the Red Bead Experiment, and it was by Dr. Deming, who was, he's a scientist, a statistician, who went to work after World War II in Japan to help them rebuild their industry. And there's a number of lessons that come from this that we're going to go through, but some of the most important things, and these are in no specific, oh, could have you fixed this process if I would ask you after day 1?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did I listen to workers?
No, you just threatened us.
Does that work?
No.
Okay. So the first thing is threats and the rewards the way they were given. Did you have any control over this?
No.
Totally random. So how do you hold workers responsible for random outcomes? Because workers will start to engage in behaviors. What gets measured? Red beads. Is that what we wanted to do? No. But since they were measured on red beads, they changed and did things different, so they didn't produce red beads. So workers will tend to work on whatever is measured. And what gets measured well gets done well. But if we're not focusing on the right thing, it doesn't work. Now, if you think about this from productivity, if we would have kept the red beads out, do we need these 3 guys? What did we just do to efficiency? So my haranguing didn't work. I didn't go to the workers to ask what was going on. You just went through it. Signs like this do not work. Okay? Hopefully you see that when you put signs up, do your best, reach for the sky. That doesn't, sorry. Slogans don't do anything. And I had the answer, didn't I? When I taped that up, did I have their answer? Management doesn't always know. Who knows the workers? So this is a really, any thoughts over this? Just to, what do you think? Learning point.
I mean, I liked it because a worker is always, depending on what you get rewarded for, a worker is always going to try to find a loophole in the system.
Absolutely.
I guess I can just see how this could be a problem in today's workforce.
Oh, yeah.
I never saw that before.
I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, the way we were working, it was like we're just going through the motions, and then, like, I'm pretty sure today it's just what most people are doing in the workplace.
If you had to do this all day, what do you think would happen?
Get stagnant.
Stagnant,
Be
yeah.
stressed.
Stress?
All
Do you
the
think you
time.
could get stressed from this?
Well, my job was on the line for something I don't control that much.
You got
Yes.
promoted.
I like my
I
job.
go.
Why did you like your job?
Because I didn't have to do much.
Didn't have to do much. Okay. How did you feel when you were both counting? Were you afraid of making errors?
Yeah, because you were just like, hurry up. Like, and I'm just like,
Were you willing to admit you were wrong?
Yes.
Was he?
No, he wasn't wrong.
He was just going to acknowledge whatever Sean did.
He was a good worker.
Okay? So we tend to avoid those things. So this is the Red Bead Experiment. We're gonna, you'll see more about, we're gonna tie this all together, okay? But I think by experiencing it, seeing it, touching it, you've got some of the key learning points. So when we do bring this up, and you'll see the video of yourselves producing it, you can turn that off now. Okay.
Worker in the red beads, I learned more than statistical theory. I knew that the system would not allow me to meet the goal, but I still felt that I could. I wanted to. I tried so hard. I felt the responsibility. I felt that others were dependent on me. My logic and emotions conflicted. I was frustrated. Logic said there was no way that I could succeed. Emotions said I must try.
That's part of a letter to Dr. W. Edwards Deming from Anne, a willing worker in one of his red bead experiments. Willing workers in these experiments often say that they knew it was a game and quickly realized that they couldn't win, but they tried anyway, wound up frustrated by a system that would not let them do their work, in which they were powerless to change. The red beads is only a game. The question then becomes, what happens to the men and women whose paychecks and futures depend on their performance in businesses and industries, most of which are run exactly like the red bead experiment?
After it was over, I thought about my own work situation. How often are people in a situation that they cannot govern, but wish to do their best? And people do their best. And after a while, what happens to their drive, their care, their desire? For some, they become burned out, tuned out. Fortunately, there are many that only need the opportunity and methods to contribute.
The willing workers illustrate two lessons. First, workers will try to do their jobs even when they know they cannot. Second, doing your best doesn't matter unless you know what to do, why you are doing it, and how to do it.
These control limits tell you the variation of the system. If we have a system, first of all, you heard the foreman's procedures. It instructed for the distance of 8 centimeters into the smaller vessel from the corner. They were rigid. Second, we have the data, the figures, either in the form of the table or the chart. There are the figures. We have the control limit. I would conclude we have a pretty good stable system. The willing workers put forth the best efforts under rigid conditions. They conformed to procedures, but there was wide variation in results from one worker to another. Same worker from day to day might jump all the way from the best worker down to the worst one next day. The variation came from the system. The system is the responsibility of management. People work within the system. Management is responsible for the system. The management had apparently set a price for white beads without knowing the cost of producing white beads. Went out of business. They could have learned something about cost. After the first day, there was a little bit of information about cost. There was no attempt to improve the incoming material. It was the same day after day. No improvement. Management's job is to improve the incoming material, improve it.
I remember that. It's number 4 of the 14 points.
Right. Stop doing business on price tag alone, choose a supplier, and work with that supplier to improve the material. But while that's going on, never overlook the obvious.
Sell the red bead.
Exactly. If you've got a customer for white, maybe you could find a customer for red. You don't know until you look. But management has to do the looking. The worker can't.
People on the job are helpless. They were helpless. They could not bring about improvement. They could only work and try to do their jobs. They represent people all over the world, on the factory floor and in management, working within a system, doing their best, handicapped by the system, unable to make improvements.
Because management was blaming the willing workers instead of improving the system, and because it was rating the workers, management made yet one more bad decision.
And the management decided instead of closing the place down
Maybe it's too early.
because costs are overrunning revenues. Instead of closing it down, they would keep the place open with the best workers. Sounds great. Fantastic contribution to management, one would say. It's unfortunate it didn't work. I'm afraid the Western management is great on management of failures. Too late. They need to work at causing the failures. Department of Transportation showed a few days ago in the newspapers distribution of proportion of flights behind time, whatever that is, for various airlines. Department of Transportation should help the airlines, not just rate them. Rating doesn't solve any problem. It's management of failure. Costs are not causes. Costs come from causes, and they need to work on the causes. Those are lessons that come out of the red bead. Performance of anybody, almost anybody, is governed almost entirely by the system that he works in. So when you rate people, you're really rating the system. And the people, you see, that won the game did not turn out to be best in the future. In actual life, it may be that 98% of performance comes from the system. Most of what we observe comes from the system, not from people's efforts. Their output is governed by the system. Management is responsible for the system. That's the lesson.